Today on FanDuel TV, summer heats up at Del Mar with 3 thrilling stakes races, featuring the Grade 1 Bing Crosby Stakes, a win-and-you're-in challenge for the Breeders' Cup Sprint, plus the Grade 2 San Diego Handicap, a key prep for the Pacific Classic, and the Daisy Cutter Handicap, a lightning-fast turf sprint for fillies and mares. We're on track live from Del Mar. Play today on the FanDuel Racing app.
And welcome in on a beautiful Saturday here at FanDuel TV. A special hello to everybody watching out there on our social media accounts. Reminder, you can watch and wager on every race here on your FanDuel Racing account, but we're happy to have you here aboard. Here's what we've got coming up on an epic Saturday at Del Mar. Also at Saratoga, the Jim Dandy. How about Sovereignty, your Kentucky Derby winner, your Belmont Stakes winner? He's making his return with the Grade 1 Traverse as his big goal, but he's got to get through the Jim Dandy first. We've got a San Diego Handicap. Can Nisos stretch out? He's the big hype horse right now. He's probably going to be everybody's single in the pick 5, the pick 6, but can he stretch out? It's not always a guarantee with the Bob Baffert horses. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then the Breeders' Cup, winning you're in for the sprint, the Grade 1 Bing Crosby Stakes. 9 horses entered, 7 of them are stakes or graded stakes winners, and Bob Baffert has a couple in there as well. So we'll talk about the Bing Crosby a little later on as well, but it is going to be an epic day. And you know what? It's already been an epic day here on FanDuel TV because over at Ascot, we had a Breeders' Cup winner for the turf, and on hand site for us, Jess Stafford. Jess, that was an incredible renewal of the King George.
It certainly was. There was just the 5 runners, but all Group 1 winners, and tactics came to play, and it was unbelievable, really, what we saw. We were expecting there to be a lot of pace on from Continuous, one of 2 runners for Aidan O'Brien, and we were expecting Continuous was going to set up the race for Jan Bruegel, who was hoping to beat Calandigan for the 2nd time this season. But Jan Bruegel, with Ryan Moore on board, decided to go and take up the running and just failed to keep up the momentum. You could see the warning signs were out quite early for Ryan Moore in the blue and red Westerberg colours, and then the filly in the Jubmont silks, Kalpana, she came into the race with plenty of running, but she ran out of gas, and the favourite Calandigan came past her late on. This gave Francis Graffard his 2nd win in the King George after being victorious with Goliath this time last year. And Calandigan has backed up his Group 1 win in France last time. He has confirmed that he is a leader in this middle distance category in Europe, and now the plans for Francis Graffard is to take him potentially to Japan for the Japan Cup. He wants quick ground. He wants that 1.5 mile trip. Potentially, he has the option for the Breeders' Cup. He's got that win and you're in ticket booked now for the Breeders' Cup turf. Also within that King George was the People's Horse, Rebels Romance, who was a little bit unlucky to be denied a clear run, and he stayed on strongly for 3rd, but I'd imagine they're going to be working their way towards a 3rd tilt at a Breeders' Cup turf at Del Mar. So a lot to unpick from that race. We've got one more left to come here at Ascot. It's the Whispering Angel Handicap. 14 runners go to post, and it is been a real tricky puzzle to work out these handicaps on the straight course. You want to be drawn in a perfect position, and I've gone for a horse drawn right down the middle to far side. That's number 2, Tropical Storm, coming out of stall 11. Oisin Murphy and Andrew Balding team up for this horse. He's coming down in class. He was in a Group 1 last time. I think this is definitely within his reckoning. Tropical Storm hoping to give Oisin Murphy a 2nd winner today after winning the Group 3 earlier on in the card. But that's been it, Cut. It's been a great day, a lot to unravel, a great King George as always. Never disappoints. And I'll be back with you for full 5 days of the glorious Goodwood meeting next week.
Jess, looking forward to it. Always great coverage that you provide for us. We're very lucky to have Jess Stafford there on site. Gabby Gaudette with her earlier this morning. Let's turn the page now and look ahead later in the afternoon. The Grade 1 Bing Crosby Stakes, the 2nd Breeders' Cup winning year in race we'll have this Saturday. And let's take a look at the field. 9 runners going postward for the 6-furlong sprint. You expect the main track to be fast, and you take a look through the field. As I mentioned, 9 runners, 7 of them are stakes winners, 6 of them graded stakes winners, including a horse that maybe based off the morning line seems like he's a little unfairly ignored. Let's talk about the 6, Roll On Big Joe. Returning back to California for trainer Bob Hess, Julian Leperoux aboard the last 2 starts will be in for the ride. For more, let's turn it over to this package on Roll On Big Joe.
No, really well. Yeah. I mean, he's a runner, son of a gun. I mean, that last race, he beat pretty nice horses. I don't know if he was the best horse in the race, but he got the best trip. I mean, he just opened the gate and he's gone.
And they're up. Down to the wire. Roll On Big Joe. Got it.
It's coming out in a minute. This is Byron, the excellent star rider for Roll On Big Joe.
You know, with this guy, I kind of feel like less is more. So we didn't want a real strong gallop today, so we took him out to the train track. Just a smooth, nice, controlled gallop. Sometimes he wants to get a little salty and do more than we want him to do. But today, after the first maybe half mile, he settled down and went beautifully.
Oh, he's turned really well. Very nicely. Yeah, I thought he went really great this morning.
Contentos de que vamos a participar y el caballo trae con qué.
He got a little aggressive the first time around.
Yeah.
He settled down and then he relaxed better for the second 2 times around.
I'm glad you said take him to the train track, because at the main he might have,
Oh no, the main track would be bad news.
he might have had a workout.
Yeah.
Well, I think our target is this Saturday, but obviously we're in the game to compete at the highest level. My clients are as well. So we'll dream and hope, but main thing, run well this Saturday, come out healthy and happy.
I love the quote. He's a running son of a gun, and Roll On Big Joe is going to be rolling from the middle of the pack early in the Grade 1 Bing Crosby Stakes. That's race 10 of 11 at Del Mar on a wonderful afternoon. Not the only major race, though, that is worth talking about. We're also going to focus on the San Diego Handicap, 2 races prior on the card. Everybody's talking about Nisos. If you believe the workout reports, this horse is the next coming of Secretariat, but it's not always a guarantee. We'll talk on that in a little bit later in the show here. But as far as the Grade 2 San Diego Handicap goes, even with a horse in Nisos that everybody seems to be thinking is a slam dunk, he's got 6 other rivals that are going to take him on. And Nisos, the 3-5 morning line favorite, expected to take a lot of that play. A newcomer to the California Handicap division is the 5 Hall of Fame, making his first start for trainer Michael McCarthy, himself of journalism fame most recently. Kazushi Kimura, hot off of the Los Alamitos summer riding title, is named to ride in Hall of Fame. His first start for trainer Michael McCarthy, we checked in with the man himself.
Hall of Fame's an exciting prospect. Fortunate enough, he came to us about 5 weeks ago. He's now owned in part by Claiborne. Obviously, no mystery there. You know, hopefully this horse goes on and does some big things here in the second half of the year and maybe finds himself a home there. That's obviously the plan. We'll get started here on Saturday in the San Diego. Hall of Fame is, you know, a fantastic horse to be around, wonderful horse to watch train. You see here what his physical condition looks like, so happy to be a part of that. He's settled in nicely to Del Mar here. Seems like he's getting over the racetrack very well. You know, he's a professional. His resume shows what kind of ability he has, and we'll see if we can showcase that here on Saturday. Obviously, facing a big horse in Nisos here, a very solid competitive rendition of the San Diego. We won't take him out of his game plan. We'll go ahead, bounce on out of there, and put him prominent early.
He's scheduled to break from post 5 in a field of 7. The San Diego Handicap race 8 on a loaded 11 race card with 6 of those 11 carded for the turf. The day begins and ends with turf racing, and they're going to alternate surfaces throughout the day. Now here's an incredible head scratcher, and I love the stats that we were able to put together with the team here at FanDuel TV. Bob Baffert's notable runners when they were favored, and sometimes heavily favored, in the San Diego Handicap. You go back to 1998, Silver Charm, Captain Steve Congaree, all odds on, defeated. Fed Biz actually picks up the first win for Baffert in 2014. He was 3-1, surprised a lot of people that day. Then Bayern lost. This is the main one. Do you remember 2017? Arrogate coming off of the Pegasus World Cup, the Dubai World Cup. People thought he was the greatest horse in the world. Turns out he hated Del Mar. Not only was he a very disappointing flat 4th in the San Diego Handicap, but later the Breeders' Cup Classic, even the Pacific Classic, did not go his way. Maximum Security, this is the only odds-on winner Bob Baffert has had. Bit of a light field in 2020. Remember, that was the COVID year, so everybody's trading was a little thrown off. Country Grammar disappointed 2-1. Arabian Night, a huge disappointment last year at 2-5. So, all of that to say, what's going to happen with Nysos? Well, again, if you believe the workout reports, this is the best horse in the world right now on dirt, but they don't run the race on paper. They run the race on the track in the afternoon. So we'll see what happens there. Earlier in the day, race number 4, we have a $100,000 purse for 2-year-old maiden special weight company and plenty of hyped horses. Even with the scratch of the 1, you're still looking at potentially 2, 3, 4 horses that could become graded stakes winners. Bob Baffert with the favorite in a Del Mar 2-year-old maiden special weight race. That's not a surprise. Balboa at 5-2 was purchased for a little under $900,000. That horse, the 5-2 morning favorite for John Lees, but the 8-horse Brant, a $3 million purchase, and he was pinhooked by Eddie Woods. Let's take a closer look.
Thank you. Who get 500? Dividend 5, dividend 100, 2, dividend 1, dividend 2, dividend 2, 3, dividend 2, 3, try 3, dividend 2, 3, down 4. Hit 3, down 2 million, 7 dividend, down 3, dividend 3, 3, 3, dividend 3 million. Hit 3 million, 1, 3 million, 100,000, 3 million, 1, bid, 3 million, 1, 3 million, 1, bid, dividend a half. Mark, $3 million. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. It's the look of a guy that just sold a horse for $3 million, Eddie Woods, one of the best pinhookers in the game. Now, as I mentioned, Baffert has 2 in there. Baffert did tell the Daily Racing Form Steve Anderson in an article on the website that Brant is a little farther along than Balboa, so maybe Balboa needs a race. I'm just saying, if Brant wins, Balboa doesn't run all that well, just give him a start. That could be the case. Very excited to see the Jim Dandy coming up later this afternoon. We're not going to show here, but you can wager on this race through your FanDuel Racing account. We'll bring in Matt Carruthers. Matt, good morning to you, sir. And what do you make of the Jim Dandy at Saratoga later today?
Well, you just went through Bob Baffert losing at short prices in the San Diego. We're going to have one in the Jim Dandy, right? Sovereignty, the best 3-year-old in the country, dare I say the best horse, dirt horse, going a distance of ground in the country. I know we have some pretty good ones running in the Whitney next Saturday. Horses like Fierceness and Mindframe and Sierra Leone, but he might be better than all of them. And I've lost a lot of money trying to beat 2-5s that maybe look vulnerable because it's a prep race, because it's a short field, because there's a low NAF. I just don't see him winning this race because I think he has more versatility than people are giving him credit for. Let's go back to the Belmont at Saratoga, so we know he likes the racetrack. I know it's a 1.25 miles, 10 furlongs. This is 9, but he was close to the pace. This horse, like most great horses, they can kind of do what they want to do during a race. This horse, obviously, in a race like the Derby, where they're going lightning fast up front, he's going to be a dead closer. In a race in which there's not much pace, he can stay closer. He can adjust. And journalism, I would say at this point, is a really, that's 4 reallys, good racehorse. And Sovereignty has beat him decisively twice. Once on a sloppy racetrack in the Derby, once over a good surface. You know, Moplex, Curtis, is the horse to get bet because everybody who learned to read the racing form 2 weeks ago is going to go, oh, he's lone speed. And I will say this about Moplex. So he's 10-1 morning line. He'll get played. I think he's a good chance to run second. I think Sovereignty wins. Moplex runs second. The Ohio Derby was a really good performance. It was his first time going a distance of ground, 2 turns, I should say. He goes wire to wire with a big figure. And usually on big days, it's a speed favoring racetrack. I went back and looked at the charts that day at Thistle Downs, Ohio Derby Day. Very fair racetrack. So that was a legitimate win from Moplex, who will not be 10-1.
And we've got a field of 5, Sovereignty, the big name in the Grade 2 Jim Dandy Stakes. And you touched on the pace there. Bill Mott even mentioned this to the Daily Racing Form. Moplex looks like to be the lone speed in the race. Sovereignty showed a little more tactical speed last time. So hopefully Sovereignty shows some of that tactical speed in his race on Saturday. Don't discount Baeza shipping in for John Sheriff's Hector Barrios back aboard. It's a horse that's got some sneaky good speed too, and if he gets the jump on Sovereignty, maybe he can do what journalism couldn't and hold off the Kentucky Derby Belmont Stakes champion. We got money back specials all day today. You can check it out on your FanDuel Racing account or visit the website racing.fanduel.com. 3 races from Saratoga, the 6th, the 9th, and the 10th. 4 races from Del Mar, the 4th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. Get up to $10 back if your horse finishes 2nd or 3rd on these select races. Visit the website or the FanDuel Racing account for more information.